Without this company, we'd all be a little lonelier in the world, and now it's not a dating company. Entering its third year on the Fortune 500 list, coming in at 314, is a company that started over $40 late fee. According to Statista.com, this company has about 117.6 million subscribers and became one of the first global networks by revolutionizing how we watch television. Most networks produce content targeting a specific audience. However, this network decentralized television and developed programs that would appeal to multiple audiences simultaneously. Here's another clip. Today I want to highlight for you the key moments in the history and evolution of Netflix. Starting with the early years when Netflix was simply a DVD rental service, followed by the introduction of their revolutionary streaming service, and finally the Netflix of today, filled with critically acclaimed original content. Let's take a trip back in time to 1997, when Netflix was founded in Scotts Valley, California, by Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph. According to Hastings, he hit upon the idea for a rental by mail service when he was forced to pay a $40 late fee when returning the VHS for the film Apollo 13. In 1997, most people were still using VHSs. However, DVDs were introduced that spring, and although the hardware needed to play DVDs was expensive, Reed Hastings decided to gamble on the potential that the DVD had to replace the bulkier, low-resolution video tapes. So Netflix opened the first online DVD rental store on April 14, 1998. Originally, the name was a play on words for internet and Netflix, so these were two separate entities. And initially, Netflix offered a 7-day DVD rental for $4 plus $2 for shipping and handling. In September 1999, Netflix introduced the Marquee program, which allowed members to pre-select 4 DVDs with no due dates for $15.95 a month, creating a near DVD on-demand experience. Shortly after the program's success, Hastings revealed the new Marquee program, which offered unlimited rentals for $19.95 a month, and at the same time, Netflix discontinued single title rentals, as 97% of its income came from the Marquee program. In 2000, Netflix announced plans for IPO, but drew it as investors became increasingly skeptical of the e-commerce business model and lack of actual profits. Despite its popularity, Netflix, like many internet startups, was still spending heavily to attract customers to its website, betting it would become profitable when the brand became better established. It wasn't until 2 years later that Netflix revived its plans for IPO and changed its name to Netflix Incorporated. Hastings characterized Netflix's future goal as moving beyond DVD rentals to streaming videos, stating, "Movie over the internet are coming. We want to be ready when video on demand happens. That's why the company is called Netflix, not DVD by mail." The years in between the IPO launch and the streaming revolution was dark times for Netflix, as its DVD rental business began faltering due to 2 main competitors. Both Blockbuster and Walmart started emulating Netflix's online DVD rental service, beginning a war with no winners as all 3 companies took major losses. Hastings even approached Blockbuster with a deal in which Blockbuster would buy out Netflix for $50 million. Blockbuster declined and filed for bankruptcy a few years later. Walmart, on the other hand, reached a deal with Netflix in which Walmart would refer its online video renters to Netflix, and Netflix would promote Walmart's DVD sales on its website. Walmart's withdrawal allowed Netflix to focus on the online world and Hastings' vision of video on demand. Now that I told you about the early years of Netflix, let's explore the revolutionary idea that made Netflix the media giant it is today, the beginning of its streaming service. With its 2 main competitors out of the way, Netflix launched the then revolutionary concept of delivering movies directly to subscribers' computer in 2007. According to a press release by Hastings, while mainstream consumers' adoption of online movie watching will take a number of years as content and technology hurdles, the time is right for Netflix to take the first step. The program started out small with only about 1% of Netflix's entire library and was included in the monthly membership at no additional cost. However, streaming was limited to about 18 hours a month. Since the introduction of streaming, Netflix has enjoyed meteoric growth as streaming scored 10 million viewers in the first 4 months. After streaming's successful launch, Netflix changed its once DVD focus toward an unlimited streaming plan, priced at $7.99 with additional $2 for DVD rentals, and with additional 4,000 titles available for instant watching by the end of the month. Netflix announced that membership has increased from 6 million to 23 million subscribers. Netflix seemed like it could do no wrong. However, in 2011, it announced that it would no longer be offering unlimited plans that included both streaming and DVD by mail, but separate plans that cost $7.99 each. The result was outrage, and following a huge outcry, Hastings released a press report stating subscribers value the simplicity which Netflix has done very well for years. And there's a difference between moving quickly and moving too fast, which is what we did in this case. Netflix admitted to the blunder and decided to keep the original streaming plans together. However, the damage was already done as Netflix lost about 800,000 subscribers and the stock price dropped 30% in 4 months. It wasn't until a year later when Netflix announced heavy investments into original content that began to show signs of recovery. Now that we've arrived back in the present, Netflix has not only recovered but surpassed expectations with their Gamble original content. Beginning with House of Cards, followed by Orange is the New Black, Narcos, and Stranger Things to name a few. Netflix's original content has drawn in millions of new subscribers. A survey by investment bank SG Cohen reveals that 58% of subscribers pay for Netflix for the original content. And in a Morgan Stanley survey, Netflix was voted the best original content media company compared to any other premium TV or internet video subscription service. This could be due to Netflix's budget, as it spends an estimated $6 billion on original content, while its closest competitors only spent an estimated $3.2 billion. According to Second Measure, a research firm that tracks anonymized credit card purchases, 80% of Netflix subscribers are only subscribed to Netflix. And according to the Internet Traffic Report by Sandvine, Netflix streaming service accounts for 34.9% of all web traffic during peak hours, with competitors Hulu and Amazon only accounting for a combined total of 4%. In conclusion, Netflix's history has been full of ups and downs, but through a series of gambles and smart marketing, Netflix has become synonymous with television, starting with its humble beginnings to going public. Followed by its decline due to competition, Netflix has always been able to come up with solutions such as the revolutionary idea of videos on demand and the production of original content. Who knows what's in the future for Netflix, but its meteoric rise doesn't look like it'll end anytime soon.
Netflix and chill. Like, you don't say Netflix and chill, like, just like, Netflix and chill.
Well, Savannah's not here, right? Okay, and Ashley's not here to speak. So Marissa, I'm gonna move you up here. Why don't you tell us what you thought of Golden's speech?
Well, you had really clear transitions, so I liked that a lot. You spoke clearly, you had a good presence. I really enjoyed the information. I liked your slides. They had good pictures. And overall, you just sound just confident and well-informed. So it was a good presentation. Right?
A little applause for the evaluation, that's fine. That's okay. All right. First of all, there's a lot of stuff here that is really solid and good, and I thought you were well prepared a week ago. I remember talking to you about this and looking at your outline and thinking, well, this is this is on target to be solid, and I think that for the most part it is. Topic is well identified, there's a clear thesis statement, you give a good justification, there's an excellent preview for what you're talking about, so that part is solid. I think your explanations are really good. Organizationally, it's easy to follow. It's chronological in nature. You've got smooth transitions built into the speech. They are pretty clever for the most part, and they work together to move things pretty effectively. So structurally, things are good. The introduction is really solid. There are a couple of things, though, that stand out as being problematic. I'm going to say the same thing I've said to a couple of other speakers. You have really good speeches that are being undermined by their presentation a little bit. You're interested in this. This is fun, and you're kind of presenting it like it's an oral report that you're doing for a class instead of a speech that you're talking about because you're interested in the subject. And you got to put I don't think you need to jump around and do a dance to make the things interesting, but you've got to put a little bit of inflection in your voice occasionally, change the volume once in a while, emphasize key ideas occasionally, liven the speech up a little bit, because you do read, but you read pretty well, but it is still kind of all at the same level, it's clear, that part's good, we can hear you, that part's good, but it's soothing background instead of something that is engaging us. And so, like I said, delivery is not what we were focusing on now, so don't be panicked about this. That's the thing that I'm talking about. This is like a minor quibble about the content of the speech being put together. It's put together really well. The one thing I do think that you need to do a little bit more of that is a major part of the presentation are the visuals. I think they're nicely organized and put together. They're just not particularly intriguing. The number of times I saw a version of Netflix, is a little too much. Netflix and chill on the condom, that's a funny start that gets going. That's perfectly fine. The original logo and the new logo, those are great, but I'm just thinking, this is all about a video delivery service, and we're not getting much in the way of video delivery. I'm thinking, well, there's the switch over from VHS to DVD. I think you could show something that talks about how easy it is to ship those things around. Can you imagine ordering a bunch of VHSs to rent and having to have that shipped versus the envelope that the DVD came in when they were doing that part of the business so much? The streaming service, there's nothing that visualizes the streaming service, even though everybody knows about it. The best thing that you have in the second half of the presentation is that last slide, which has the percentages of the streaming services indicated like it's the apps page of your smart TV, and you've got the percentages and the size of the apps represented by that. I like that. You needed a few more things like that. The visual that's the wallpaper of all the original programming, that's pretty good. I just think that this would be a place where the timeline would make sense. In whatever it was, 2009, they introduced, what's the damn Kevin Spacey show? House of Cards, or whatever it happens to be, and here's what their subscriber numbers were like then before the show came on. And then you could do a bar graph showing what the increase in the number of subscribers was based on people coming to see House of Cards, and then Orange is the New Black, the same sort of thing, and Stranger Things, and some of those other things. It just seems like there's a whole fertile field there of visual opportunities to make the speech more intriguing that just you kind of say, look over there, isn't that nice? Instead of, emphasizing, look what we've got here, and oh my gosh, this thing happened here. And so it wasn't that it was bad. It's just, I just think you're missing some low-hanging fruit, so to speak. And there's some opportunities there to get it a little bit more dynamic. But the truth is, it's a very solid speech. It's well put together. You've got a lot of information in it. You need to work a little bit on the delivery and enhance the visual materials. And did I tell you guys about the upcoming on-campus activity? I think this would, I think